Mr. Beast has been going through a lot of changes. Not Mr. Beast as a person, but Mr. Beast's channel and Mr. Beast's life. But Mr. Beast himself hasn't really been going through changes, but Chris from Mr. Beast has been going through changes, like gender changes. For those of you who don't already know, for the two people who are watching this who have never heard this story yet, but Chris from Mr. Beast, you may know him. He's been Mr. Beast's friend for the past 10 years, ever since Mr. Beast started his channel. But Chris has been there ever since Mr. Beast started the channel. He's never left. And he's always been one of the top members of the Mr. Beast crew. And recently he has come out as transgender, which has been noticed in the past few months. Like, people have been noticing these changes. We've noticed, the nails. He posted on Instagram with his nails done like a woman. We've seen him growing out his hair like a woman, straightening it like a woman. And he's just been acting really different lately. Recently, he divorced his wife. He left his wife. I don't know if he has a kid, but I don't know if his kid is still with him. And yeah, this has all happened recently, and people believe that Chris has left his wife because he's transgender now, because he goes by any pronouns, so he doesn't really have a label. But it's not really my part to talk about it. It's not my life. Chris is doing way better than me regardless, money-wise. Mentally, no, but, But earlier today, I did post a video talking about, how Chandler got baptized and how I'm proud of him for getting baptized. I'm a Christian, so seeing somebody get baptized, especially because Chandler's my favorite crew member, and I'm seeing Chandler getting with the Lord and getting saved, that's just amazing to me, and it puts a big smile on my face. But Chris, however, on the other hand, he seems to be losing it a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that Chris is a bad person. All I'm saying is that Chris has been making Mr. Beast look pretty controversial lately with the gender changes. And fans have been eating his ass out the past few weeks about his gender replacement surgery. I made a Buzz-looking alien video, not really making fun of him, but just like, I don't know, it was just a stupid video, but I wasn't making fun of Chris with the Buzz-looking alien video. I was just making jokes. And recently, Chris has been going around putting lawsuits against people who have been picking on him, I guess. I believe somebody on Twitter, somebody was making fun of him, and he got sued by Chris. I don't know for how much, but it must have been a pretty damn good amount if it's coming from Chris. And it must have been a hell of a lot of money, because if you get offended to the point where you're going to sue somebody, chances are they said something pretty fucked up, or you're just being pretty sensitive. Because as a content creator, there shouldn't be a point where you should have to sue somebody for saying words. Now, if it was a threat, it would be a much bigger deal, because if they're threatening you, then that's a threat. But if they're just saying words, then there's nothing you can do about that. Like, people are going to talk shit about you regardless. Like, people were talking shit about Chris before, he did this. And, yeah, Chris, you know, he do whatever, do you, but just understand that when you do something like this and you've had so much history on on this community, that when you do something this impactful to the point where millions of people around the world see you doing this, they're going to react differently. They're not going to be like, "Oh shit, Chris is now Christina." Like, it's okay. No, they're going to see it like they lost somebody, that they cared about. They don't want Christina, they want Chris. So, you know, pray for Chris. Pray that, he gets better, he feels more comfortable. But at the same time, Chris had a very good life, with his wife. He never seemed like he was going through anything. I don't know what he was going through in his life, but he did seem like he was being happy with his wife and kid, with his job, making people across the world laugh, including myself. And I guess I'm just kind of blinded. I guess a lot of people are just blinded by, the past and what, seeing what Chris was before and seeing him now. It's just hard, because now we are no longer going to see the same Chris. We're just going to see Christy. And, yeah. Another thing that I got to cover is Carl. A lot of people have been blaming Carl for all this, because ever since Carl joined Mr. Beast, there's been a bad taste in my mouth ever since he joined. I don't know why, but there just was. But people like to poke fun at Carl a lot because he's weird. He's a weird dude. Like, are all of them weird? Yeah, they're weird, but Carl is weird. You know what I mean? But, at the same time, I felt like Carl's thing was just like, oh, Carl and Nolan, they're just fits in for Jake and Marcus after they left, because we're all blinded by, nostalgia, because the original five was Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, who are still here, but then there was Marcus and Jake. Those two left, and Nolan and Chris filled their slots, and they were different than Jake and Marcus, and people didn't like it. I feel like if Chandler were to have left or Chris were to have left and they would have replaced them with somebody else, it would have been the same situation. It's kind of like recasting a new superhero. Like, I think a lot of people were pissed off when Andrew Garfield was casted as Spider-Man in the beginning, but after a few years and a fucking reboot that wasn't even his movie, he is all of a sudden the love of everybody, and people are begging for more Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. So I thought it was just be one of those situations, but nope, they still fucking hate him. They still fucking hate Carl and Nolan. Nolan, however, he's been doing better. I feel like Nolan is improved. Nolan is not as annoying, but yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Like, things are gonna change. Like, like Jake, he's still doing his thing. Maybe one day he'll make like a cameo. Maybe he'll make a fucking appearance in Mr. Beast soon, kind of like how Tobey Maguire came back into the Spider-Man universe. make a huge fucking comeback, and Mr. Beast blows up again all the way up to 200 million just because Jake came back. But, you know, Jake just wanted to be solo. He wanted to solo dolo. And I miss Jake, but, you know, same with Marcus. I don't know what's going on with Marcus. I heard a lot of rumors about him. I hope he's doing good though. I hope he's getting the help that he needs, and I hope that he's doesn't have any grudges against Jimmy, and that everything's good. But with Carl, I'm not sure if this was Carl's fault. I don't know if Carl is the reason why Chris is doing what he's doing, but at the same time, I do feel like Chris is. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? If Carl and Chris start dating, then that's gonna be a fucking problem. But I don't know. I think Carl is gay. I think he is gay. But if he's not, then chances are this is all just Chris's choice. Or it could just be the internet is just slapping Chris around slapping him in the balls, just, you know, to the point where he doesn't even know where he is, what he is anymore, and now he's confused, and now he's doing all this because, you know. But, you know, at the same time, Chris doesn't look sad. He doesn't look depressed. He might be depressed. I don't know. I don't know what he's like off camera. But after seeing a lot of videos with Jimmy and Chandler, they look fucking pissed. They look disturbed. Jimmy doesn't look himself anymore. Chandler just looks annoyed all the time. As a matter of fact, I don't even see Chandler that much in videos no more. I don't know. I don't know. People are thinking that Chandler's thinking about leaving. That could be a possibility. People are thinking that Jimmy is going to fire Chris. I don't know I don't think he's going to do that because, you know, I feel like just at the moment Jimmy is still getting used to these changes like we are. And Jimmy, you know, but at the same time, you can't blame him. Like, that man has been friends with Chris for God knows how long. More than 10 years. Do you know how long 10 years is? That's a long fucking time. And yeah, imagine if you just found out that your best friend is no longer, is a whole different person. Like, I would be fucking mad. Like, I would be mad if Jamar turned into Jeanette or something. Like, I would be pretty upset. Like, cause you're my bro, not my broette. Like, you're my bro, not my sis. Okay. But yeah, for those of you who are feeling like Chandler doesn't support Chris, just understand that he's a Christian man. And we have way different views on these types of things than other people. Do we support them? No. We don't support them. Do we love them? Yes. We will always love people no matter what they choose to be, because that's what Jesus would have done. So for my fellow Christians, yes, I understand where you're coming from when it comes to Chris and his choices. I understand you're upset. But at the same time, it is what it is. You can't do nothing. Just because somebody's trans doesn't mean that they're separated from, doesn't mean that Jesus doesn't love them. But I hope that Chandler will show Chris that love that Jesus wants him to show. And Chris will, just do his thing. I hope nothing else changes about Mr. Beast. I hope Jimmy still makes videos. He still does his thing. And congratulations to Chandler again for getting baptized. You made an amazing choice, brother. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. See ya.